Episode 19, User Agreements. We're going to start streamlining these videos, getting them a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, more to the point, because we're getting a lot more specific things that don't have 15 minutes of talking points. And I think it makes more sense to be quick with it than to drudge on for 15 minutes and make you guys sit through it. So, 1970s, Box Software started using shrink wrap, which was the idea that you open it, you agree. Put a little pamphlet in there or whatever and say, if you open the shrink wrap in this package, you agree to the terms of service, yada, yada, yada. And then they would have their terms outlined. The 1970s, that was happening. This is cited Wikipedia. So it could be a little ambiguous, but there are court cases to cite too. So it did exist in the 1970s. In the 1990s was a big court case with ProCD versus Seidenberg. This was actually on a court website too. Um, Basically, the court sided with the idea of shrink wrapping. They were like, if you purchase something and you open it, read to the terms of service for whatever that is. And most of it was protection. It was saying the company is not liable for XYZ. If you open the shrink wrap, you agree to that and you're not going to come after them for XYZ. Like if there was a CD with profanities, maybe a good example. If you say, well, you buy this CD, you can't come after us and be upset about profanities because you already know it's on there. So you open it, it's yours. And so somebody that opens it can't come after them and be like, well, I didn't know there was profanities on this CD. You didn't tell me XYZ thing. It's like, no, we did. It was on the terms of service. I think that was the main idea behind it. It was to create a protection, just like a baseline protection for the company to say, here's what you're getting, just so you know. So don't come after us saying you didn't know because you've been informed. It's about informing the consumer. I think that's good. The consumer should be informed. Here's what you're buying, here's what you're getting. Where it goes wrong is that over time this starts shifting. And it's gotten to the point now where it's not about protecting the consumer, it's about protecting the company's right to exploit the consumer. Like, we're going to do geofencing, we're going to sell your data, we're going to be doing all kinds of malicious crap. But if you agree, then it's okay. And we get to do it all. And it's like, nah, it's still malicious crap. It's still garbage that you get to do it. We're going to sell all your stuff. We're going to listen to your conversations. We're going to track your GPS. We're going to set up geofencing for advertisers to dump ads on you based on where you've been. It's crap. But anyways, they do it, and that's where it started. The late, what are we in, 1990s, 2000s? Web terms started doing click wrap and browse wrap, which is the same kind of thing. It was the idea of kind of like the website terms of service. The click wrap is like you clicked I agree, and the browse wrap is like kind of like your cookies, where it's like, well, if you're using the website and this is part of the terms, you have to agree to this stuff. They give you a link, and they just say you can read the terms. They're here, but we're not gonna put them on the screen for you. A lot of user stuff does this now. I've seen that quite a bit. A lot of video games, they'll have terms of service as a link. So you can scroll through it. Some of them make you open it and scroll to the bottom to like prove that you looked through it, but nobody reads it. Nobody ever reads it. There's so much to read. Nobody knows how to read nowadays. But yeah, it's too much. So what else do we got here? We got 2000 somewhere in there. Group tries to standardize licensing. Okay. It was what UCITA tries to standardize licensing, limited adoption. So people weren't quite getting it. They were like, we don't really like the standardization that they set up. 2010s, arbitration, class action waivers become common. 2018, we get the GDPR and CCPA, push clear consent. No pre-check boxes. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a tricky one. So that was a malicious one they would do too. They would already check the boxes. Yes, I read to the terms. And then you would just have to click accept. because that was the idea when they first like started optimizing the internet purchasing. They kept thinking like, how do we make it the least amount of clicks for somebody to spend all their money? Like somebody's shopping, we want them to like buy, done. That's it. We don't want people to be got to click here and then sign to this notice and then read these terms and then go over here because it made too much hassle. And they were like, people want to just get in, get out, buy, and go. So a lot of the stuff, it sort of found ways to bypass these different user agreements. Because, like, nowadays, when you buy stuff, like if you set up an account for a big purchasing company like Amazon, when you go in there, I don't remember any of the terms of agreement. I don't remember if they had them. I assume they did. They have to. But they're just like tucked away somewhere. You make an account, it's like good to go, done, bye, thanks. And it's just kind of slid by. And then they're like, here's how you buy our stuff. That's really the user experience they want. They don't want you to be like, oh, the stupid terms I had to read. They don't want that. And we don't want that as consumers. But the idea is you're supposed to be protecting the consumer with those. You should be saying, here's what you're getting, here's why we're trying to do this for you. It shouldn't be this other way around where they're trying to protect the malicious acts of the company. Specifically, there was one that came up recently. It was Walt Disney World. I had to look into this. I was like, I don't know if this actually happened. This sounds like some BS. It actually happened. Um, Somebody was at a restaurant in Walt Disney World down in Florida, I believe it was, and had an allergic reaction. I think they died from it. And basically, Walt Disney was like, the guy that's trying to sue the restaurant, he signed up for our streaming platform 2 years ago, something like that. And so they were like, well, because you signed up for our streaming platform, in the user agreement there, we actually said you can't sue us or any affiliate companies. And because your wife then went to Disneyland 2 years later and died from a food allergen in a restaurant, we're going to say that's an affiliate company and you can't sue them because of that. And people were like, what? And it was this huge deal, and everybody was like, are you kidding me? And what ended up happening is they actually had to back down on their own user agreement because they realized how much backlash they were causing in their own community. People were canceling their Disney stuff. And so then they were like, yeah, no, you can use it. It's totally fine, but you have to get evidence of the food that she ate directly from the meal she had after, a month went by. Like like crazy things that would not be possible. And then they set it up in a way of like the court case is still open. And it's like it's to give time for people to not care. Because then when they bring it up in a month, it'll be like, oh yeah, that's that one thing. I heard about that already. And any updates kind of just get washed and lessened. And then eventually they can say, yeah, so nothing happened and they never went through with the lawsuit because XYZ or they settled it out of court or they want to keep it quiet. That's the goal of the company. And I mean, the guy lost his wife, so it's like, I don't know. His goal is kind of just like, you know, wish I could get some cash out of this, I guess. That's sad. It's sad because it's like, well, the person that he's committed to loving the rest of his life is gone. So I don't know what he's thinking there, but I'm sure he's not in a happy spot. We'll say that much. I would not be in a happy spot. I'd be very upset. I don't think any money would quench that. It would just be upsetness. So we got the 2020s. Crack down on dark patterns. Now this one, I got to see if I can find this here. Dark patterns. Regulators, especially the FTC, have targeted manipulative designs in signups and cancellations. It's kind of like the one we just talked about, which is why I wanted to wait to get to that one. The FTC advances a click to cancel update to its negative option rule. So that way you can just cancel it and they can't say, oh, well, you agreed to the terms and that's a contract that you have to be in for 6 months. And they can't do any weird malicious stuff like that. So they tried to advance this, but in July 2025, so just a couple months back this year. Federal appeals court blocked it on procedural grounds, illustrating the tug of war over how easy cancellations must be. Oh, that's sad. That's so sad. So at the end of all this, it goes back and forth in court, and the court denies it and says, nah, it's going to be too easy for people to cancel. Oh, that's so sad. Because it should be a click to cancel. It should be a, you know what, I can cancel this at any time and then turn around and sue this company if I need to. It's something malicious, you know? You got to stop defending all these companies. This is getting so BS in the US here. And the US companies are investing in foreign companies, and those are getting backed by the World Bank. So it's like, at the end of it, it's all just one big investment firm around the world, and they're running everything. It's like there's no competitors. When you look at a market and you're like, well, who are the competitors? And there aren't any? The monopoly. Like every time. Anyways, until next time.